Okay, Suzy, I forgot to start recording in the very beginning, but now we are recording the presentation. You can continue.
Okay, so now it's recording. I thank you, Marta, again, because she's see this video after. So thank you, Marta, to be a bigger partnership in this project. And I have to thank you another people. So next slide, please. I wanted to thank you, Alina Bass, Bárbara, Eugenie, Kate Coleiro is here. Thank you, Kate. Leone Baldacchino is here too. Thank you, Leone. Mitty, Marta Sinclair again, because she contributed with materials, and Nicole, yeah, because this project is a partnership. All of these people share with us materials, orientations, so to be this happen. So thank you again. Please, next. How the idea to create a course, intuition course. I started studying my doctorate intuition, and there my supervisor studied nonlinear decision making, and I started reading this, and I see some things next to intuition. And I'm looking for some people that study intuition in Brazil. There is, but a little. So I'm looking for Marta. And I sent an email to Marta. And Marta was very attentive with me, sending a lot of materials. And after, she was my supervisor in my thesis. So during my doctorate, my dream was, when I finish my doctorate, I create a course and put one university. So this is my dream when I finish my doctorate. This was my dream. So I finished and I started teaching in SPM. When I started teaching SPM, I have the provocations to implement this course there, and I love it. So I want to thank my supervisor, Plínio João, and the ESPM to this opportunity, because it's a first initiative in one in Brazil, one university in Brazil. There is no course specific about intuition. So how do you work my course? Is an elective course, or all the students in universities can study in different course, underground. So this 2 times 2 week, and there is 72 hours per semester. And students are encouraged to seek solutions during their semesters. No any solutions, innovative and very creative solutions, because to link with intuition. So next, please. Next slide, please. So my course is divided to this topic. There is different topics, and the first is important. We demystifying what is intuition is, what is not, because especially in Brazil, intuition is the people see like luck, not experience, not something is great, is good to use in business. So it's different. There is a barrier here, and in another country too. So the beginning, we started talk about what is intuition, really intuition, what's not, what the students think about intuitions, to demystify this, because the people don't know what is intuition. And after, we talk about different types of intuitions, because they talk, teacher, in religion, there is one type in religion, intuition, but it's not the only. So I talk this creative intuition, specific intuition, not different types. After, we talk about heuristics and biases, because it's important. the majority of people that study intuition in Brazil study with these heuristics and bias. But intuition is not heuristics and bias. We need to see this, follow this, solo this, but intuition is not this. So I talked to this, the heuristics, bias, what is difference with intuition. And it's very important to talk about self-knowledge, because when intuition is inner us. So we stop and talk about self-knowledge. How? We have some scales during the course. So one scale is, for example, personality style. So I see what the personality my students is important they know to develop this. After we have another scale about cognitive style, and I provoke them. You are analytical, you are intuitive, you are what the level? They don't know. So we measure this in the class to they know, and to my analytic is little, my intuition is good. So I developed my analytical and vice versa. After we talk about skepticism, because it's very important to talk about with students that no believe in intuition and how they start and trust intuition. So, and the creativity, innovation, intuition, all this, their link, emotional intelligence is very good. There is another scale about me sure this, to know self-saboteurs, some things that you think, we think is good to us, but it's not good. So we talk about this. And after developed intuitions, how intuition is applying group, intuitions and analyzing decisions. So this is the content, the course now. And next slide, please. And there are different studies that talk about is important to use cases with real problems. So I use this in my class because it's important. In my thesis, doctoral thesis, I saw that it's important create solutions our minds now. And after, when we use intuition, this happens unconscious. So when you use real cases in class, you put these solutions in our mind now, and in the future, when need use solution some problem, the solution stay in our mind, and our intuitions use this unconscious. So this is a methodology that I use, and I explain the next slide, please. So there is an integrate project. This project, my students need visit to one company, a real company. Normally one company close them, for example, the parents, relatives, friends, and others. No, there is no problem with others. So students to visit this company, investigate a very difficult problem the company faced, and problem that there is no information to resolve. So there is one question they do to manager. Talk to me one difficult problem that you faced some time ago that there is no information to resolve, and you resolve is okay. So this question they do to manager or in company. They understand the solutions, and after try related this with intuitions, may pay some previous experience. Next slide, please. So how happened the present in class? Some class I explain the content, the other class students present the project. They present the contest, the company that is 38. they present the problem found. The other groups need to discuss and submit. So they present the problem and stop the presentation. So now groups in the class try solution this problem. They solution this problem, try linking with intuition and send to me an answer. After the group continue the presentation and talk what you hear the real solutions. So they present these real solutions. The group is playing some links with what experience in the past the manager lived that maybe can be linked with intuition. So I provoke this. It's difficult to do this. I know it's subjective. So I can explain more an example in the finish if the audience wants. So I know stop it here. The group needed to do this presentation. To need use a creativity dynamic to present. I provoke them to be more creative as possible. Using one play, one game, or dynamic, or sing music, different things. So they need to present the project using this creativity. This is a criteria important to evaluation. Next slide, please. So this is a photo my students one presenting projects with a dynamic. I don't display the details, but I don't want to see. Say there is a question. Some students stay in the front and run until this boy and try to answer the question about the presentation. Is only, but there is a lot of there was a lot of this. Next slide, please. Is only other example on this. Other example in the class, the dynamic. Next slide, please. So, how happened my course in university? I talk about is an elective course, and I see this is very important to teach intuition, because in my class I have diversity. I have students, business administrations. I have students that study communication and advertisement. I have students that study journalism. I have students that study international relations. So this I see, I don't know, I want to do some research to prove this. My feeling talk about this diversity is important. Not only my feeling, the students talk about is important to do, to have diversity, to have innovation, creativity, intuition. Yeah. So when we have diversity in the class, we have different profiles. People think different. So one complement the other. And in these scenarios has intuition, creativity, innovation. Yeah. So next slide, please. Only other example, these students, when is an elective course, these students study different semesters. I have people, some studies that finishing the course, the middle, 55%. I have seven per semester, 6 semester, 2 semester. Yeah, so I have a different semester because it's an elective course. The students do one course. For example, I studied business administrations, and during my course is 4 years. I need to choose some different subjects in the university. So I can choose one subject in other course, for example, advertising. I can choose one subject, journalism. So this is very good because the different students studied together one period in the course. Not all of the time, only one time, sometimes. The next slide, please. This is only an example because I applied this scale to mention the cognitive style to my students. And there are different students, yeah. After I will explain well the difference, so I can return this slide. But there is different studies, students. That there are some students that are more intuitive, others more analytical or middle. So I applied this to know, and they know too. Teacher, I am more intuitive. What I do to develop my analytical is important too, because I talk to them in crisis. The studies talks about I don't use only intuitive or analytical. It's necessary use both to optimize our decision. And the same happen. Teacher, I am very analytical and a little intuitive. These students is more skeptical about intuitive normally. The next, please. So this is an example that I applied one personality styles to know these scales, to know how personality I have in my class. This is different because when I answer these tests, I don't have only one. I have all of 4, but in the priorities difference. For example, I am a connector first. After I am thinker. After I am mover. After I am planner. So there is a grade, yeah? No, that students only connector. But in this beginning, the middle in the class or connector. Connector is people that need relationship one of the others. Thinker is more analytical, need more data, more informations. Planning, I have the objective, I need follow my data, my times to that. And mover is more funny, more divertive people, yeah. So I didn't understand, I can explain more if some person want, but next, please. So what main course learning? I talked some, but I believe it is important to reinforce. Please, the next. So diversity in the class was very important to talk about intuition. I talked this in a reinforce now. And I think, for example, if some people in this meeting wanted to apply intuition in one course, I give this tip. How do you apply to have different people in the class, different profile? And if possible, this way, elective course, the same course of electives for different courses is a way, it's a very good way. And because this, they can exchange the experience. Yes, very important. The next, please. And it's important having activities that encourage students to be creativity. Yeah. So because this I talk, it needs creativity. And the intuition is very close in creativity, innovation. So all of the moments I talk to them is important to go out of the box, nah? Thinking out, think difference, and the creativity is important. So because these are provoked to do some things in difference in presentation. Next, please. And to finish the course, I started this course in August. the first class. I finished this in December. In December, I do one survey with them to understand the satisfaction, the criticals, and the others. These the results. The next, please. So I have one thing that I don't talk about is important. My class, there is a capacity to 50 people, 50 students. In the beginning, I have 43 students. Wow, 43 students to want to know intuition. I'm very happy about this. And now this class that started this in this year, I have 50. My class is full. There is no more students because there is full. It's very good. I am very happy, oh man, about this because the people thought the students wanted to know what intuition. I don't know. My experience in my class talk about this. So in satisfaction, we can see more than 18% the students talk about 3, 4, no, sorry, 4 or 5, yeah, 4, 5. 20, 12, they talk, okay, more or less. And 6% is it's not satisfied. This number I talk only 70 people answer. I don't know in our country, but in Brazil, to answer surveys is difficult to students. So I put there to all of our students. I talk is anonymous. Please answer. It's important to me know what do you think to better my course to the next. And only 17 answers. But okay, I have one. It's not a rigor, academic rigor, but it's okay to know the beginning, yeah, to know my course, the beginning. So they, I will apply this survey again in August 2024. I will apply and I see if I have more student respondents. I don't know. Let's the next, please. So I talk, what did you like most in our course? And 53% talk about dynamics. And 6 test in dynamics. So it's more, the number is more. So what did they talk about the dynamics? Because when I had 43 students, and 43 students, I divided to 8 groups. So 8 class, day presentation. So all of our class, I have dynamics. The students do dynamics. I explain one class, the other dynamic. I explain one class, they explain dynamics. So they talk to me, they like a lot the dynamic. And they do dynamic, not me. I do some, but they do. And very good because they are very creativity. There is games, there is singing. I love these parts. So they talk about the tests for self-knowledge. Do you remember that I talk about, I applied, for example, 3 scales. One scale, cognitive scales, personality scales, and another scale about self-saboteurs. They love these scales to self-knowledge. And for this year, I want to looking more. For example, I want to apply one scales to know what level they have to creativity. But I didn't find this yet because this I didn't play. But now I want to stop looking for more one scale that measure creativity to students. One scale. And I think more other because they like it. It's very good. And they like the work format, this project. They visit a company, looking for the results, mapping one problem, present to class, the other groups resolve, and they present a real solution. they and talk about this teaching or some talk and class interactivity. Class interactivity, there is is linked with dynamics too. Yeah. So I know that the number is little. 70 people answer is little. It's not. There is no academic rigor. It's possible apply more people, but to me this survey was only to I map how my class they like, because it's the beginning course in Brazil. I wanted to, if they like, don't like, what they think about the course. So it's more to myself, this the server. The next, please. And I talk, what did you like last? And is 59 don't answer, but the others talk about test. For me, it's important to apply test. And maybe do you have one question? How I can apply one test to measure intuition? So in my test, I create a fictitious, no real enterprise. ChatGPT helped me to create this one scenario, one case, and I create this case. And I question to them, how manager use intuitions. So it's a case, practical case. It's not about concepts, but they talk about test. For me, I believe it's important to test. So I will continue these parts. I don't change, but more practical possible. They talk some subjectivity of the topic. This is different. Intuition, there is no data, yeah? So we talk about experience, we talk about different things, but there is no data. There is a lot of studies that prove the intuition is good, linked with those things. But you can measure, for example, you use intuition this case with my students in the class, yeah? So this is a problem too, we need to think about. And I did some class about meditation. I stopped the class and now we do meditation because it's important to develop the intuitions. And they like it because they talk, there is few meditation class, they want more. And they want more that I talk about apply intuition at work. Work examples, I talk some, but they want more. The next, please. So, suggestions and criticism, they talk about 41 don't to answer, 12 people that more practical in the class. Some people that I want speakers, others maintain dynamics, they like dynamics, so they reinforce here, maintain dynamics. More debates. I did in one class, one debate about can be artificial intelligence creativity. So this debate, I do these debates, and I believe they like because they want more. Explain more difference the terms, show more indicator, reduce number of the class. This is one student talk about this, yeah. They find this a lot of class to talk about intuition, but I believe it's not this. I don't change now. Dynamics, more dynamics. They like the dynamics, more dynamics again. Next, please. The contribution, I question to them, how my course contribution to them. And 41 don't answer, and 18 talk about teacher. Is anonymous, is the same survey is anonymous. So they read there. I read there. They write. Now I feeling more self-confidence, intuition. I know I don't mention this. They talk only some statements. Using more intuitions when I don't have that data. And they talk about knowing when to use. Now I know when to use intuition, because I talk when use beyond is not. What really is intuitions, they know that they know use intuitions in different situations. Personal, they talk about course help them to know self-knowledge more. Yeah. Self-knowledge, self-confidence, and creativity. This help them and help self-knowledge for use intuition. So I believe different good contributions is not mentioned. Can't prove this. My course really improve the self-confidence because I don't mention this. It's possible that I can discuss about, but I didn't mention. It's only statements. Next, please. This only one example about one. They group create music. They put in ChatGPT, watch 10 very different words, and ChatGPT put to them, and they create one music using these words and put using intuition tool and create a music and singing the class. Was very good. Next, please. This is only some statements that I have my students. I can share with you after Mitch can share. Next, please. And in my class, this is my students, my loved students. They participate a lot. I love this term, this class. And the next, please. To finish, I map some challenges. We can discuss more, yeah, but I can do what is some challenges that I find to teach intuition. Please, next. First is the culture, yeah. Country more Western, the people, there is more difficult to accept intuition. So when I have more analytical people in the class, for example, I don't mention, but my feeling, if I have only business administrations in my class, I believe more analytical is more difficult accept intuitions, yeah, little. No, all of our business administration is analytical. No, they more analytical than the other course. For example, communication and advertising, they was provoked use more creativity during the course. And we can discuss this after. Teacher skeptical people, yeah. When you have skeptical people that don't believe in intuition, this can be a challenge, but there is no problem. In my class, I preview this and I talk about, I show different sentence, the Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs talk a lot of intuition, so I show to them. Is this, and to finish the grade, yeah, it's important to have this main activity to students. Okay, that's this meeting. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the audience. I expect that I contributed to you.
Thank you for the presentation, Suzy. It was very interesting to hear that your class is full for the next semester, because students talk to each other, and apparently they recommended each other to choose this elective course, and so it's a full class for the next term. So it was a very interesting webinar. I wonder if there's any question from the audience. I will open your voice. Let me see. You can turn on voice and video if you wish, or you can write to this chat part.
Hello.
Yes.
May I ask a question, Mete?
Yes, please. Who is this?
My name is Serdar.
Okay, Serdar.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me in this great class and presentation.
Thanks
It
for
was, yeah, it was pretty good. And thank you, Suzy, for your charming presentation. And actually, I don't know how I am now because I just received an LinkedIn advertisement and invitation for me to participate in this presentation, and I just followed my intuition to participate in this class. Yeah, and it was great. And now I'm saying that it was a good decision for me to seeking my intuition and taking part in this class. It was quite interesting, and for me, the topic is not too far away because I am also an academic working on the same topics. I am a research assistant at Istanbul University, Faculty of Economics, and we are doing research about intuition and quantifying intuitions in managerial decisions. So it's quite interesting to me. What my topic is, actually, as you said in your presentation, the Western culture reject intuition, right? The Western philosophy, think about positivism, for example, from the science philosophical point of view. Positivism fully reject intuition because it's subjective, and a scientific decision or any scientific thing must be objective. So Western science philosophy and customs fully reject it. However, in our traditional culture, intuition is quite valuable. When you come to Turkey or any Eastern country in the world, from let's say from Turkey to China, from Turkey to Japan, all the region and territories appreciate the value of intuition. Once you come to Anatolia, you can find out some wise men like Rumi, like Yunus, and some other guys. All these people appreciate intuition and try to make people more intuitive, more creative by imposing like some spiritual practices. And when you go to India, you can see people making yoga, meditation, right? Just like this. I am curious about how your continent stand. Where does your continent, where does your culture stand on? Are you closer to Eastern culture or Western culture? Because I have no idea about South America, because it's okay, we can say something about East as well as about West, about Anglo-Saxon world. But personally, I have no idea about how South America views those kind of intuitive things in science. And it was quite interesting hearing something about intuition from you as an academic at Sao Paulo. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this is the main question that I'm curious about. Thank you.
First, thank you to participate, to stay here with us today, and to do a question. In my culture is wisdom. It's very difficult to talk about intuition because the people don't believe. The majority of the people thinking that intuition is luck. And when I apply one course that I have full people in the class now, I surprise me because in my culture, Western culture. So when we talk intuition in Brazil, we talk in bias. I don't know, do you know about heuristics bias? So when we don't talk about intuition, really intuitions, when I started this course in Brazil and talk what really intuition is, and I have a lot of students interested about this subject, I have surprise, and a good surprise. So thank you. I don't know if I answer to you.
Yeah, and I just missed one point. What do you mean by bias?
Bias. Do you have in our mind some
Do you mean base or bias?
ba-
I mean subjectivity, like bias means
heuristics and bias? Uh,
cognitive
heuristics and biases.
heuristics.
Heuristics. Let's
Yeah,
put in
heuristic.
the chat.
Cognitive heuristic. You mean cognitive heuristics like representativeness, emotion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
This
what is heuristic? It's the same. Bias is the
yeah.
same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
bias. Same. Actually,
yeah.
I published a paper about the role of bias in financial decision making, and at the same time, I am doing a research now about those use of heuristics in managerial decision making. So I'm not far away from the topic. Yeah, actually, you know the inventor of those biases, Amos Tversky and Kahneman. You know those names.
Kahneman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is about. Yeah. Kahneman. Yeah.
yeah. And these guys are from Eastern. These guys were born in Middle East. You know, Middle East.
Yeah.
Think about Steve Jobs.
So
His roots come from Middle East. He's a Syrian guy, right? So
yeah.
intuition is belong to Eastern part, especially belong to Middle East. We can say this, and everybody famous about creating something regarding intuition comes from Middle East. Yeah, and it was quite interesting as you told. It was quite interesting. People are coming to your class, participating to your class, and curious about those classes. When you look up YouTube videos, at least from my point of view, when you look up YouTube videos, when you look up Instagram, you can see many people sharing something about intuition. And those people are becoming too close to some intuitive thoughts, some intuitive religion. It is like a religion. The religion part is we cannot turn a blind eye to religious, right? Because intuition, religion, creativity all comes together, right? So there is a obvious tendency in the world that people become more aware of those spiritual topics, subjects, not only in Turkey, but uh, simultaneously everywhere in the world.
Serdar Bey,
Yeah.
Serdar Semih Coşkun, thank you for your contribution. It was quite interesting, and now we are working on the heuristics. We had a speaker, you know him quite well, Dr. Gerd Gigerenzer, and he was with us, and it was quite an interesting.
Thank you, Mete. I appreciate for having me.
You will probably enjoy listening that webinar from the recording. It's good that we know that they are working on this subject because there are so many, not so many researchers on this line of inquiry. I have a question from İlhan Bey, İlhan Algün, which is quite related to the same question, Suzy. İlhan Bey says that we can see some cultures as cultures who are focused more on written communication, like Western cultures, they use more written communication, whereas some other cultures are preferring spoken communication. For instance, in Turkey, people like to talk rather than read. My impression as a general, maybe İlhan Algün is thinking the same lines. So his question to you, Suzy, is that do you see something like this about tendency to use intuition, that people who use written communication are more analytical and less exposed to intuition, and on the other hand, people are more inclined to spoken communication by speaking. They are more inclined to use intuition. Do you see something like this? Did you feel something like this?
Yeah, I think I expect more people resistance in my class. But I don't know, is because the new generation, I don't know explain why, but they are not resistant. I explain intuition, and one student mine looking for me talk, teacher, I am very analytical person. I don't understand intuition. And I talked to him, thinking one moment in our life that you need to make a decision and you don't have information. Only think, in the next class we talk. And we think a lot of, and we looking more, myself, another class, and talk to me. Teacher, I have a lot of experience with music. And sometimes in the music, when I have a lot of experience, I don't follow the patterns. I don't follow the rules. I believe I follow my intuition. So, do you know, it's possible. Maybe we find resistance, analytical people in some cultures. But if we can provoke them, it's possible they look in the other side. In the other class, one person talked to me, teacher, I do understand one enterprise can make a decision without information. And I talk at the pandemic. When you make decision, you then have a pandemic, nobody in the world there is information. So in the beginning, there is a resistance in Westerning, but I believe when we have way too more AI in the place, force us to develop our intuitions. So I believe the culture, Western culture, will be forced or provoked to talk about intuition, because I talk with my students. Intuition is one very is an ability that separate and different you than AI. If you have intuition, you can follow your intuitions. I talk to you. Think about Steve Jobs. Think about, I talk a lot of examples, and I talk about this. I answer, Meti.
Yes, well, close. We were more wondering about people who are inclined for written communication as opposed to communication by words, spoken communication. If there is any difference between these two in terms of their intuition profile, but as I understand that you did really not see some clear distinction like this in your experience. You saw more like analytical people who use their brain more, are less inclined to use intuition, even though like in music, sometimes they use intuition without knowing it. Okay, we have a question from Kate. Kate, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having us. Good evening to our host and the guests, and if I'm not mistaken, due to the different time zone, good afternoon to Susie. A massive well done from us, from both myself and Leonie from here in Malta. Thank you so much for reaching out and involving us within your endeavor, and it's so great to see the results. Maybe a small comment or maybe a small suggestion, and it's a suggestion out of appreciation towards all your work. It's in no way should be taken as a form of criticism, but out of sincere appreciation. You mentioned your students felt they reported annoyance with regards to the subjectivity of intuition. They felt, rather than annoyance, maybe not so confident in terms of how subjective at times their intuitive judgments can be, or how they perceived it. And they also the desire for speakers, guest speakers, and much more involvement with regards to speakers sharing their experience with the student cohort. Maybe a side suggestion with regards to or an idea to kick off the conversation further with regards to the project, since you mentioned, and I love the idea of involving them with regards to a real life problem within an organization. Maybe rather than, for example, a current problem within the organization, it could be the students addressing a past problem within the organization, which would still allow them to deal with a real life problem, engage in their creative and intuitive solutions, but at the same time benefit from the experience of that organization and test the validity in terms of their intuitive judgment as a hypothesis to be tested in terms of the validity of the outcome and how applicable the outcome is to the problem. And it would also resolve, it would gain the experience of the organization as a guest speaker at the end of the project in terms of how much their solution would have been valid when they face the problem, and whether it would have resulted in the outcomes that they face better or different outcomes or something completely novel. So they would not only benefit from the real life problem of the institution, but also from the experience gained from facing that challenge. And since intuition is based in experience, they would also test the validity of them delving into their intuition and engaging much more in their intuition, hopefully lead to greater confidence in it. It's merely a suggestion, and it's a suggestion or it's a comment deriving out of sincere appreciation of all the hard work. And thank you so much for sharing the results of your labor with us here. Thank you very much. I leave the floor for further discussion.
Thank you. Now it's very good to see here, Kate, because Kate helped me a lot with share his dissertation. I read little by little all of the words, and inspired myself a lot. This work, the Kate and the Leone Baldacchino is here too. So thank you to this suggestion. I thinking how I can apply, and thank you to be a partnership and share your dissertation. Was very inspired to me.
Thank you for your contribution, Kate. It was quite inspirational. I was wondering if there is any other question from the audience. We have come pretty much to the limits of our timing. There may be other questions, please write them. I will send it to Susie, or you can write directly to Susie, because she has her electronic mail address here. So if there is no other question, I wish to thank everyone. I wish to thank Susie, and I wish to thank participants for your contributions and for your being with us this evening. And I hope to see you all in another webinar on intuition. And in particular, I'm very happy to see Serdar Semih Coşkun that he is researching on this subject, and I'm happy to discover that I really didn't know that there was someone researching intuition in our country. So good night, everybody, and thanks again all for coming. Now I will close the meeting.
Okay. Bye, Michi. Thank you again to invitation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
See you.